Chapter 4 Stepping Heavenward. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. This reading by Lucy Burgoyne. Stepping Heavenward by E. Prentice. Chapter 4 November 2. I really think I am sick and going to die. Last night I raised a little blood. I dare not tell Mother, it would distress her so, but I am sure it came from my lungs. Charlie said last week he really must stay away till I got better, for my cough sounded like his mother's. I have been very lonely, and have shed some tears, but most of the time have been too sorrowful to cry. If we were married, and I had a cough, would he go and leave me, I wonder? Sunday, November 18. Poor Mother is dreadfully anxious about me, but I don't see how she can love me so, after the way I have behaved. I wonder if, after all, mothers are not the best friends there are. I keep her awake with my cough all night, and am mopey and cross all day, but she is just as kind and affectionate as she can be. November 25. The day I wrote that was Sunday. I could not go to church, and I felt very forlorn and desolate. I tried to get some comfort by praying, but when I got on my knees I just burst out crying and could not say a word, for I have not seen Charlie for 10 days. As I knelt there I began to think myself a perfect monster of selfishness for wanting him to spend his evenings with me, now that I am so unwell and annoy him so with my cough, and I ask myself if I ought not to break off the engagement altogether, if I was really in consumption, the very disease Charlie dreaded most of all. It seemed such a proper sacrifice to make of myself. Then I prayed, yes, I am sure I really prayed as I had not done for more than a year. The idea of self-sacrifice grew every moment more beautiful in my eyes, till at last I felt an almost joyful triumph in writing to poor Charlie, and tell him what I had resolved to do. This is my letter. My dear, dear Charlie, I dare not tell you what it costs me to say what I am about to do, but I am sure you know me well enough by this time to believe that it is only because your happiness is far more precious to me than my own, that I have decided to write you this letter. When you first told me that you loved me, you said, and you have often said so since then, that it was my brightness and gaiety that attracted you. I knew there was something underneath my gaiety better worth your love, and was glad I could give you more than you asked for. I knew I was not a mere thoughtless, laughing girl, but that I had a heart as wide as the ocean to give you as wide and as deep. But now my brightness and gaiety have gone. I am sick and perhaps am going to die. If this is so, it would be very sweet to have your love go with me to the very gates of death, and beautify and glorify my path thither. But what a weary task this would be to you, my poor Charlie, and so, if you think it best, and it would relieve you of any care and pain, I will release you from our engagement and set you free. Your little Katy. I did not sleep at all that night. Early on Monday I sent off my letter, and my heart beat so hard all day that I was tired and faint. Just at dark his answer came. I can copy it from memory. Dear Kate, what a generous, self-sacrificing little thing you are. I always thought so, but now you have given me a noble proof of it. I will own that I have been disappointed to find your constitution so poor, and that it has been very dull sitting and hearing you cough, especially as I was reminded of the long and tedious illness through which poor Jenny and myself had to nurse our mother. I vowed then never to marry a consumptive woman, and I thank you for making it so easy for me to bring our engagement to an end. My bright hopes are blighted, and it will be long before I shall find another to fill your place. I need not say how much I sympathise with you in this disappointment. I hope the consolations of religion will now be yours. Your notes, the lock of your hair, etc. I return with this now. I will not reproach you for the pain you have cost me. I know it is not your fault that your health has become so frail. I remain your sincere friend, Charles Underhill. January 1, 1834. Let me finish this story if I can. My first impulse after reading his letter was to fly to mother, and hide away for ever in her dear, loving arms. But I restrained myself, and with my heart beating so that I could hardly hold my pen, I wrote: Mr. Underhill, sir, the scales have fallen from my eyes, and I see you at last just as you are. Since my note to you on Sunday last, I have had a consultation of physicians, and they all agree that my disease is not of an alarming character, and that I shall soon recover. But I thank God that before it was too late, you have been revealed to me just as you are, a heartless, selfish, shallow creature, unworthy the love of a true-hearted woman, unworthy even of your own self-respect. I gave you an opportunity to withdraw from our engagement in full faith, loving you so truly that I was ready to go trembling to my grave alone if you shrunk from sustaining me to it. But I see now that I did not dream for one moment that you would take me at my word and leave me to my fate. I thought I loved a man, and could lean on him when strength failed me. I know now that I loved a mere creature of my imagination. Take back your letters, loathe the sight of them. Take back the ring, and find, if you can, a woman who will never be sick, never out of spirits, and who never will die. Thank heaven it is not Catherine Mortimer. These lines came to me in reply: Thank God it is not Kate Mortimer. I want an angel for my wife, not a vixen. See you. January 15. What a tempest-tossed creature this birthday finds me! But let me finish this wretched, disgraceful story, if I can, before I quite lose my senses. I showed my mother the letters. She burst into tears and opened her arms, and I ran into them as a wounded bird flies into the ark. We cried together. Mother never said, never looked, I told you so. All she did say was this: God has heard my prayers. He is reserving better things for my child. Dear mothers are not the only arms I have flown to, but it does not seem as if God ought to take me in because I am in trouble, when I would not go to him when I was happy in something else. But even in the midst of my greatest felicity I had many and many a misgiving, many a season when my conscience upbraided me for my wilfulness towards my dear mother, and my whole soul yearned for something higher and better even than Charlie's love, precious as it was. January 26. I have shut myself up in my room today to think over things. The end of it is that I am full of mortification and confusion of face. If I had only had confidence in mother's judgment, I should never have get entangled in this silly engagement. I see now that Charlie never could have made me happy, and I know there is a good deal in my heart he never called out. I wish, however, I had not written him when I was in passion. No wonder he is thankful that he free from such a vixen. But oh, the provocation was terrible. I have made up my mind